She's strong as a little bull. Nothing stops this little girl if she decides that she's going to do it.
Rather than focus on what Frankie, the 2-year-old golden retriever, does not have, or what she's lost, this story begins with what her mom, Joey Bennett, gained when adopting this perfectly imperfect canine.
Everyday special needs animals wake up like the world is just there to conquer. And if you're going to sit around and mope and feel sorry for yourself, you only have to look at them to say, for crying out loud, if they can make the most of today, I can certainly make the most of today. Frankie was born on Valentine's Day, and turns out, since it was a C-section, when they pulled her out of the womb, the umbilical cord was wrapped around her foot. The infection had started moving up Frankie's leg, and there was no doubt the foot was going to shrivel up and fall off. That did happen. The first few days were touch and go on whether or not she would make it. Bottle feeding from my breeder and all the love she gave her all the way through and everything else that went on. I don't know if Frankie would have had the wills to survive, but she did.
The tiny ball of fluff eventually made her way home to a house about an hour outside Toronto, Canada, about 30 minutes from Guelph. Weeks later, she began a pup prosthetic process, her new leash on life, including a new limb. And that meant learning how to use it.
The poor little rascal at 10 weeks started rehab at a clinic that's not far from us. She can climb on any of those odd-shaped round balls that you see in rehab.
Oh my gosh.
There were 4 different moldings and 4 different prosthetics till we got to this good one now. And as she grew, they would just add foam pieces to the first one because they grow quickly.
It's not perfect. Sometimes the prosthetic falls off.
That's okay.
Is she able to do everything that a so-called normal dog would do right now?
Pretty much. Everything was a handful, but there was always improvement. And anybody, I don't care if you're a teacher, I don't care if you're an athlete or a coach, as long as you see improvement, then you want to keep going down that path.
That path made possible by one distinct choice that Bennett has made her pet project and passion.
Because they wanted to take her stump off. And that's the whole thing I want to get out. If they'd have removed her stump, her world would be different. You can't put a prosthetic if there's no stump. We actually had a lady who does physiotherapy on humans come in. She said, oh, this stump's got to come off. The muscles are going to retract. It's going to get painful for her. And I'm like, well, what if I keep it active? No, you can't. I'm like, I don't like the word can't at all. And we're like, no way. That's 30-year-old science. There has to be something else out there.
What percentage of dogs do you work with that use prosthetics?
I would say 0%.
So this is a rare case.
Yes. Yeah. In my 14-year career as a veterinarian, I have not had one patient that had a prosthetic.
Dr. Veronica Balser of Chicago's Metropolitan Veterinary Center says there are good reasons to not save the stump. Sometimes aggressive cancers prevent that option. Older dogs might not be ready to learn these new kinds of tricks, as well as the time and costs involved.
Not everybody can afford the expense of a prosthetic, and that doesn't make them any less of a great pet parent. Prosthetics costs range from, several $100s to several $1,000s.
Not everybody can afford this. I understand that.
But there's plenty of dogs out there who would have potentially a better quality of life if they had access to prosthetics.
Most tripods get arthritis.
I often see back pain in these pets from just carrying their weight, a little bit crooked.
It keeps her spine aligned in a normal fashion. That sort of thing, I expect over time, will pay dividends.
So dedicated was Bennett that when COVID shut her and Frankie out of traditional physical therapy, she made her own.
So we set up what we call the hillbilly agility course. Had to be everything that I could find in the garage. Could only jump over things that are so high for her. So if we did a little balance beam work, all that sort of stuff, it's just fun. It's been one of the best things I have ever done.
You gave her a great home. You gave her a higher quality of life. What has she given you?
Oh, she's opened up my heart, and I start every day with a smile. I fall asleep every night with a smile. She's expanded my world in every way.
Short answer is everything.
Everything's probably a good way to do it.